No, shit, white. What's your prepare live stream? Hey, I don't know who that. I don't know what that noise is. Y'all hear that shit, man? Hold on, let me go mute this YouTube.
I just unmuted my mic.
I gotta go mute this YouTube. All right. Peace, family. Welcome to Masonry, the Good, the Bad, the Ugly Wednesdays. I don't know where that's coming. I ain't got nothing on in here. Hold up. Go ahead, like I gotta deal with this YouTube. I still hear.
Welcome, family.
Got it. The topic today is Masons and daughters, Masons and sisters. Is having a relationship in the order, is it good or bad for the craft? That's the topic for the day. I was waiting on a couple other people to come in. We're supposed to have some sisters. They might be joining us. Throughout the show. In my opinion, I think in a perfect world, perfect Masonic world, that would be the ideal. That would be ideal for a brother to be with a sister. I mean, I say that just because, brothers got to attend a lot of meetings. They go out of town a lot. So it'd be good to have a companion that understands that and can travel with you and not be bored, not be sitting around, not knowing no one, So, y'all got something in common, which is the craft. Now, I think it's a bad thing the way Masonry and the Eastern Stars are set up today, because it's so many dirty politics being played in the lodge that a lot of times relationships are used, or interrupted, due to dirty politics in the lodge and scandalous brothers. So right now, my advice is not to have your wife or girlfriend nowhere around your damn lodge members. That's my advice. Brother, go ahead.
Yeah, I kind of agree with it, but my initial question would be, where did that rule come from in an order? Masons and Eastern Stars not dating or being in a relationship. Where or how did that, or why did that rule come into existence?
Is there a rule?
From my understanding, there is a rule. A Mason should date another Mason. Well, no.
I've never read that.
No, correction. I had to correct myself. It just came to mind. No, you're right. But I was about to say a Mason shouldn't date another Mason's daughter or wife or anything like that. But you're correct. You're correct. Yeah, but I think ideally, like you were saying, that it would be a good idea if a Mason was married to an Eastern Star, because they'll cut out a whole lot of bumping of heads and that can take place if one is not a Eastern Star or a Mason. But I think it still can exist if a Mason is not married to an Eastern Star too. It just has to be a mutual understanding. But like you said, if that sister who is your wife can come and travel along with you, it it'd be so much easier.
Okay, now you said wife. What about dating?
It all depends on to what degree that they are in a relationship. Now, if they just hanging out and just kicking it, just to be kicking it, I'm gonna say no. But if they're dating and have already been dating to the point to where it's serious, they're engaged, they're about to take it to the next level, then yes.
Brother Doge, what's happening?
You gotta
Yeah,
unmute yourself.
What's the word? What's the word?
Now, see, it's a difference between dating a sister and running through sisters. You know, like if you know what I'm saying, you done slept with more than one sister, especially in the same chapter, brand chapter. I mean, I think that can cause a problem. What say you?
I think that is the problem. But the bigger problem is a lot of people that get into masonry and want to be a sister and try to use that to leverage that to try to find a mate. And I think that's probably an even bigger problem than the bops, the ones that try to, hop from sister to sister. So in my opinion, it's the ones that get into masonry and try to leverage those positions into, trying to solicit a mate or whatnot.
So what about the sisters that be brother hopping? Have you seen that?
Oh yeah.
Y'all not very engaged here, man. What's going on?
You said what?
Y'all not really engaging here, man. Come on.
Trying not to pull it down.
Y'all gotta come on, man.
Rather my potato chip bag.
The what?
I'm trying not to pull it down. Rather my potato chip bag.
So let me ask you, which one of you have one of you brothers dated a sister in the order while you were in the order? And how was that experience?
For myself, I've never dated a sister. Never dated a sister. If I dated a sister, I was not a part of the order at the time. She was a sister.
Yeah, I have. From personal experience, on my behalf, I would say, and like you said, in the ideal world, it would be perfect with brothers, but they bring a lot of controversy on both ends of the sleeve.
I mean, so how was your experience?
As far as my experience with the sister, it was beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Having somebody, like you said, you can travel with, deal with, communicate with on the level of what we do as, a fraternity, them as a sorority, that was great. You know what I'm saying? But some of the underlying animosity caused with other men in our fraternity on behalf of that sister or their personal feelings or other things that were separate of, it had its negative aspects also.
Oh, that dirty politics. That dirty politics.
Right.
So
as they say, that pillow talking.
Right. So what's the downside of this? Of brothers and sisters dating?
I mean, because there's some hidden aspects that might turn off a brother or a sister to the crab in the hole, but their disenchantment might not be with the crab. It might be on an emotional level about the person they interacted with or other person's interactions with them about that person. Not as far as the work, but just on a more social level.
Right.
Well, let me say this, put it more blunt to what Brother Fuller just said. A downside to it can be what Brother Fuller and myself personally experienced with the brother being involved with the sister, and it caused a lot of fusion within the lodge, which caused a lot of members to run off or just disassociate themselves with the order all the way around, both brothers and sisters.
I agree with that also.
So that's
But
that's one of the things that a lot of people like to jump around or beat around the bush. They don't come straight out and say it. And when you have men, some men, they don't know how to control themselves when women are around. They weak. They never been around so many beautiful women before. They feel like they got to have them all, this, that, and the third, because they didn't get it back in the day. They didn't get that kind of attention back in the day. So they come, you're supposed to be in a craft for a whole completely different reason. And if you can't control yourself just because you're standing next to a gorgeous woman or someone that you find to be very attractive, you weak, whether you a Mason or not, flat out. Your lust for her is taking you all the way off your game. You a weak dude.
so you saying a lot of brothers join Masonry just to get a better shot at getting a female?
Yeah, I say some join Masonry just so they can go to the bar and drink. Some join so they can be other.
But you can go to the bar and drink without being a Mason.
You can. I did it all the time before I became a Mason. I got brand new bottles in my bar right now. But I did all that. It was chasing women, all that, this, that, and the third before I became a Mason. But if some people get into the craft, some guys get into the craft. When they get around these women, all these sisters, and they on the road, they're away from home, from their girlfriend or their wife or whatever the case may be. When the cat's away, the mouse will play. Let's go ahead and put it on the wood. Let's not politic about it. Some guys join the crowd so they can party, so they can drink, and they get around the sisters. They can do whatever they want, try to do whatever they want to do, flat out. And they throw them, and that would throw them off they track all the time. We see it all the time.
I can experience. I experienced something along that lines. Was a brother that was very let's say loose with his lower regions, and he didn't make it a secret, and he had probably been in the craft maybe 20 years before his wife wanted to join the craft. So this brother, when he revealed this to me, I told him that's a bad look, dude. Don't, sway that. Send her somewhere. Don't do that. No. So, okay. So what ultimately happened was when that sister joined this group of sisters, they had a problem with the brother. So when that problem didn't get resolved, their resolution was to tell her about all his philandering.
Yeah.
Because she had became a sister. And you're supposed to warn sisters of impeding danger.
Right.
So I guess they felt obligated to inform her of this in writing of this brother's shenanigans. And that brother got so pissed at those sisters that he canceled them out. So, and I thought that was personal. It shouldn't have been taken that way. The grand patron at the time, the whole lodge ostracized him from the lodge, saying that he knew that they was going to do this and he didn't warn the brother. Whole mess.
So should there be a rule put in place at least for a temporary amount of time until that type of relationship within the craft can be resolved or balanced out?
No, I think that's impossible.
So what should take place if a relationship were to develop between a brother and a sister and it disrupt the harmony of the lodge or disrupt the harmony of the chapter? That's the number one thing. That's the number one issue I have with
hold on, let me get the door right quick. Go ahead, keep going. Number
one problem I have with the brother and sister dating is when whatever dealings that the two of them are having at the time disrupt the harmony of the lodge or disrupt the harmony of the chapter. Now, whatever is going on outside of the
But
lodge, then that's
excuse me, brother Akeem.
but when
Excuse
it
me.
comes,
But sometimes the disharmony falls into play because of that,
right,
because the sister may be dating the brother, and certain things may be going a verse in the chapter or left of the contemporary method of masonry, and that brother informing that sister or them sisters interacting with brothers on a personal level, separate of, the word tends to be the bump.
but
It's like
it goes back to, well, if there was a rule in place, if just figuratively speaking, if there was a rule in place to prevent that from happening, and that never actually happened, then that disharmony would never take place.
Okay, I would love to for example of how this rule would read. I'm just curious, like, what would this rule say? Like, I think it's impossible. It's men and women. We grown men and women. So,
Right. I can't
a rule being put in place to just add to the sneakiness and to the back door. You know what I'm saying? It would add to it. I mean, we all grown men and women. You know what I'm saying?
right. And I'm not saying a Mason should never find an Eastern Star or vice versa attractive, because like you said, we're men and women, we're grown. What you do inside your house, that's your business. Whatever relationship you decide to have with somebody else, that's your business. But if that relationship is going to disrupt the harmony of the lodge, then I don't know what that rule would say. I don't know.
I mean, you wouldn't know if a relationship was going until it happened.
Right.
So
Until it happened. I'm
now,
sure that relationships inside of the crowd that no one knew about until maybe on the tail end. Like, man, I didn't know y'all was dating. I didn't know y'all was doing this, that, and the third, because they kept their business to themselves. There's a lot of things that go on with me. I don't even put on Facebook because I keep my business to myself. If I don't want you to know, I'm not going to tell you.
mm-hmm.
And if now I ain't got to worry about you talking about me behind my back, you saying this, that, and the third, or you forming your own opinion, be it right or wrong. But it's impossible for you to do that if I don't bring it to your attention. But once you make it known, now you're somewhat kind of inviting other people there.
I mean, but you don't really have a choice but to make it known.
You do have a choice.
How?
You do. Just don't keep your business to yourself. Keep your mouth shut.
You keep your business to yourself, but when you see your bros shooting at your lady, you gonna say something eventually. You be like, hold up. You gonna eventually be like, hold up, dog.
A situation like that.
Hold up, Playboy.
That's gonna always take place, whether you a Mason or not. Somebody gonna always try to shoot their shot at your woman, at your wife.
It ain't always the motherfucker. What I'm saying is, it ain't really shooting their shot, but they don't know.
Right. Okay. I was going to get to that. I was going to get to the point. I was going to get to that. So, but if a person don't know that that's your significant other and they shooting their shot, then it could be a case of where the guy's so confident in himself and the relationship that he having with his woman, he gonna fall back and let her handle the situation.
No, but
so my question
is,
what about the vice versa? What about when she's shooting her shot at one of your bros?
Exactly. I was just about to say that. So
the game gonna change because it's a woman shooting the shot. It's the same thing.
What I'm saying is,
a sister approached me, and she don't know I'm married, it's my responsibility first as a man, then as a husband, to shoot her down.
But
I'm right there on the spot. Nope, I can't do that.
But at the same time, it's easy to say that, but we know how bros talk.
Yeah. Oh, hey.
You know, that you be. I mean, motherfucker make you say something.
I'm telling you, I didn't see it with my own two eyeballs. Got the strongest game. Females got some game too.
Mm-hmm.
Got the strongest game.
That's where we get it from.
Got the strongest game. But still, when it come down to it, before them draws hit the flow, the guy or the girl, the brother or the sister, they already know if they in a monogamous relationship, and they shouldn't be doing that, and it should never even gotten that far. I don't care how strong that game is, whether it's a brother or a sister. Nope. Mm-mm.
I agree. I agree completely.
And if another brother is trying to holler at another brother's wife or fiance or girlfriend, and that brother just flip out all of a sudden, that's showing the type of cloth that he cut from. Bro, you got to control yourself, man, because that other brother didn't even know that was your woman. So if that brother
And
don't
on
get
the
married,
side note, like I keep saying, like it's on me to let her know, like I'm a married man, and to shut her down when she's shooting. It's on your woman in the same note to shut him down when he's shooting. Because the way she presenting herself, hanging her stuff out there, you know the old man. Baby, don't be standing next to no fire truck and no yellow rain jacket in the building on fire when I run up and say, "Can you help me?" You look at me and talk about you ain't no
but
you can't.
it don't even have to be about the way. It don't even have to be about her carrying herself in an inappropriate way. She could be very poised in her stance. You feel me? She could be poised, mature conversation, the whole shebang. That's attracted to some men. And a man is going to approach her. And if he approach her, it's up to her to shoot it down.
But living all that, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't have to be a secret. So all that to me is all. That's what I'm saying.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you clearly.
I said it shouldn't be a secret.
No, it's not. It's not about it.
What I'm saying is, so all that is out the door. We got brothers don't give a fuck if they know it.
Right. No, I'm not saying it's about. It's not necessarily about it being a secret. It's just about you just keep your business to yourself.
If you dating somebody that's in your same circle, it ain't no secret.
Maybe it is. Maybe it ain't.
I'm saying not if you dating. Now if y'all just screwing, that's something totally different. But if you dating shit, you might ride to the lodge with me for if you gotta meet me, I gotta meet the lodge, we might ride. I mean, we dating. Now just screwing is too different. That's too different. Just screwing. That's
Either way it goes, if it's screwing or dating, I don't believe the personal business should be that closely tied to the lodge business. So it shouldn't even matter if they doing whatever.
Personal business is telling you what you're doing inside your relationship. Personal business is saying, I'm dating this person. Hey, that's what the fuck is that? That's who I'm dating.
I don't know what you just said.
You shut that fucking dog up. Shut that dog up, man. He probably only about this big. You muted.
Little Bow Wow.
Yeah, all right.
He about this big.
I'll see you a picture of it. You be like, yeah, okay.
I'm just saying, man. It's a big difference. You know what I'm saying?
It could be a beautiful thing.
It could be.
Performers on the same accord.
It is a big difference in the size of that dog.
They understand, both sides of the scale. You know what I'm saying? So it could be a beautiful thing or it could be a very ugly thing. So it's kind of hard to like pinpoint. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard to know the call.
Like for example, your former grandmaster, he was married to a sister, and when they divorced and all that, they lied, split every day. Sisters went one way, the brothers went one way.
Man, that's.
And Marshall turn, that was his wife. You know what I'm saying? And that split the whole thing up. She took her
Yeah.
sister and went packing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And in a situation like that, take that situation for example. Should should the sisters have gone branched off into a different direction, or should they have stayed? Like, that does like why do you think that happened? Do you think it happened
Because
because God in the chapter was also somewhat figuratively speaking involved into that marriage at the same time?
well, no, I just think that, you know, especially women more so than men, they have a bond with each other. And you hurt one of them, emotionally, they all riding. They all gonna go on that emotional roller coaster, and they gonna follow that roller coaster wherever they go with their sister. So I can see how the whole would just dip. I mean, we know that right now. We the chapter for the sisters that live and die by what they and said and did. Follow her ass to the end of the world. And she ain't worth a goddamn grain of salt. But that's women.
Yeah, man, we have seen that, but at the end of the day, I'm on the fence with it because I had to think about what my first worshiper told me, Mr. Andre Esfield. He said, man, only thing that'll murder your career, is messing with these sisters. And at the end of the day, it wasn't on the behalf of having a personal relationship with the sisters. It was other brothers' personal relationships with the sisters and us even patronizing the chapters and them feeling like it would undermine personal ulterior motives and deeds that they were committing to that were not correct. That led to other divides and factions in between the sisters and the brothers. At the end of the day, I say two things destroy masonry: money and ego. And it's either personal ego over the seats and positions or ego amongst the other men in front of these sisters. I've seen brothers that when they in live, just the bros or after lodge events, you would think these dudes are thicker than things are like brothers. But as soon as the sisters come into play and the male strutting come into play, oh man, you would think these dudes are Crips and Bloods, you know what I'm saying? So, like you said, in a perfect world, yeah, on the behalf of the brother and the sister, it'd be good for brothers to date sisters and sisters to date brothers or vice versa. But understanding that the work, the traveling, the extra spent time that you take away from work, your family, your kids. But like you said, given the state of affairs now, you better keep your wife, your daughter, anybody away from these dudes because people, they would easily take what we do and practices of what we do and traditions of what we do, as they say, and put their own spin or the rhetoric on it and use it for their own ends and means. A first system that should be equally as progressive, supportive to a family situation, a community, us as the people as a whole could be equally as destructive. Like you said, it's a scale thing, the balance of it both. So I'm on the fence with it.
All right,
Me too.
We got a sister in the building, Sister LaQuisha Johnson. Well, I'm pretty sure you're informed of what the topic is.
Good to see you, cousin Quisha.
I'm not your cousin. Hey, everybody.
Here's your cousin.
Hey, cousin.
Yeah, Paul. Don't throw that trash.
So the take on is Mason and sisters relationships, good or bad for the order. What you say about this situation?
I mean, it depends on the situation. Is it a situation or is it a relationship? Relationships are good for the order. I met you. Well, some relationships are good and some are bad. Some people only be looking for the sexual aspect of the order. And it's all on what you want and what you know, what you do. I've seen the worst. And I've seen some.
Can you give an example of the worst?
Seriously?
You ain't gotta use no name.
Oh, that is deep. You know,
About to go down.
I see. Yeah, well, one example. See, examples are touchy because these people know us. But anywho, one example. I don't want to say that, but it's a
Hey,
terrible
get that,
example.
get that down.
So you know, in a situation where the brothers just be like trash, they don't have respect, and they'll use a woman for whatever they can. Like they'll sexually take a woman and do her dead wrong. Like no respect when I thought the order and the Masons were supposed to protect their sisters, but you would set a sister out and run her through the whole lodge like it ain't nothing, and sit back and laugh and talk about it. Now, how do you respect the man that does things like that? I just don't understand. But that's
Brother
what
knows
needs to happen.
How you respect a woman that allows that to happen?
But a woman is stupid.
A
But
woman is stupid.
the woman is stupid for letting it happen to her. But still, on the you said the good and the bad. That's the situation. You got the stupid women, and then you got the men that's just dogs that'll just fall for anything.
I hate to argue with that. I'm sorry, because the sisters I encountered this order and according to the brothers I deal with these lodges, I ain't gonna lie, the sisters brighter than these brothers because they tend to influence, manipulate these dudes and run more the show above the board, below the board than these dudes do. So I don't know. I can't take that.
another angle. That's another angle.
You're
Yeah.
right. That's another angle, but I don't see much of that going on in the order I was in.
It was
I'm referring specifically to the order you was in. I ain't gonna lie, your grand read more things than my grand, the worsables,
yeah.
you got me bent.
Hey, she was running them like Grand Central Station, huh? They're coming in and going out, huh?
Hey, I'm a grown man. This ain't even no bow down thing, but I give credit to the devil for the devil being the devil. You know what I'm saying? She tricked the shit out the world that she ain't exist. You know what I'm saying? So
But they grand be sicking sisters on brothers.
You get him.
Go get him. He got potential.
Go get him.
He gonna hold a vote. Go get him.
I think
You
he gonna
so
end up.
silly, Ray.
Make sure you get that one.
It's the truth. I've seen it with my own eyes. It's true.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She was like a madam. I mean, but that goes back to conversation that we bring up almost every show. Who polices majors?
Nobody.
The Masons police masonry. You heard that, brother. The other Masons holding the other Masons accountable for misdeeds of conduct that they witness is who police masonry. Masons police masonry.
That's a bad deal.
Well, we know the answer to who police masonry. I think a bigger question should be when or how should the new policing of masonry exist or start? Who's going to be the new police in masonry?
The new police in masonry.
It depends. Is you talking about the light hunters, or is you talking about the special victims unit? You know, it's different crimes being committed in masonry, so you need different law enforcement agencies. So I mean,
Brother Fuller, cut all that out now. We got to start at the ground level now. Now you're going way too deep, too soon. Now we got to start. We got to start with a basic unit right now. We basic unit right now. We got to get the basic unit.
If we're gonna start with the basics, we're gonna have to start with the Masonic IRS. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have to start with the
Right, motherfucker. Audit.
But with that being said though, but for real though, it needs to be a new policing, because the current policing is it's as if it doesn't exist. There's no repercussions or anything like that. So something need to be put in place forcefully, because what is in place now is not working. So something needs to be done and put in place forcefully, and it needs to be it. Just be a book, just be a dog with it.
Well,
Because the way it's going now, they doing whatever they want to do, and now having to suffer any kind of repercussions. And while they doing that, they being a dog at it. Yeah, I'm gonna take this money. Yeah, I'm gonna dog that sister. Yeah, I'm gonna dog that brother, whatever the case may be. What you gonna do to me? Nothing. What you gonna do? Call the police? So
but how can the immoral judge the immoral? See, that's the whole thing. A lot of brothers can't say put another brother coat killer. He gonna look at you like, you? Let me tell you what I heard too. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard when the majority of a live or a chapter is corrupt or running with the corruption. Whether it's with sisters, whether it's dealing with money, whether it's dealing with illegitimate initiations, whether it's dealing with all of that.
But it's I think it's unfair to say the immoral judging it immoral, because everybody came into this thing.
Immoral, right?
No, we come in but you missed the whole point. Nigga, ain't nobody no fucking saint. What I'm saying is,
we only took good men and women and made them better. I thought we ain't take no bad folks.
that's what I was just about to say. It's the process of bringing people in that should change. We look at so much. Hold up, we look at so much of numbers. It's always quantity over quality. As long as I get 3 people in my lives to open up a lives, that's all I need.
Right, and I agree with you. I'm not a numbers person. I'm not a numbers person, and I'm a quality person. But there still need to be something in place. Okay, you say everybody in masonry is immoral.
It is something in place. You got landmarks, you got bylaws, you got constitutions. You can have all that in place, but you're not going to adhere to it.
It's not being enforced.
It's just a piece of paper.
It's not being enforced. That's the point I'm making.
In charge of enforcement is the main crooks and criminals.
Okay, well, there needs to be a new regime.
Masonry need to be. All this shit to me is a fucking bullshit and a scam. Every time you're doing a lot, you're just giving away your money.
Well,
you just giving away your money.
I don't necessarily.
I don't agree with that.
Some friends. If you want to ask some friends, it's cool. But other than that, there's nothing in the craft that they can do shit for you that you can't do for yourself in this time of day.
I agree with that, but on the same note, there's certain things that you can't do by yourself.
There's a lot of
you don't have to get Masons to do it.
Huh?
They ain't gonna do it no way. They're gonna shoot down every idea that involves some work. You create your own organization. You join the PTA to kids' school and do activities.
But I mean,
Masonry, it's a scam. They taking your money and they ain't teaching you shit. They giving you a book and you go teach yourself. You can do that. You come to the money you pay for. Come to me. I will teach you every goddamn degree, everything you need to know about that motherfucker. You ain't got to pay no lodge or no chapter.
You better stop with this John G. Jones shit, bruh. You better stop with that shit. Ain't nobody licensed you to be teaching nobody shit, bruh. See, there you go, that bullshit, dog.
I was talking my own jurisdiction. Why not? Who polices masonry?
Hold on. Before we go
starting that shit in my jurisdiction, brother.
Hold on. Let's
you ain't got no jurisdiction. What jurisdiction you got? The omens?
At the end of the day, who says I do what I don't? Because like you said, nobody police masonry. So at the end of the day, who can say whose jurisdiction is what not?
That's right. I've been watching the Badlands too, so you better chill out.
No, that shit right.
Let's get back to the top of
take your land, man, your jurisdiction, nigga.
Let's get back to the top of the discussion. Dating and masonry. It's good. Other stuff we talking about. We can say that for a whole nother show. It could be a mission. Good, bad, or ugly. Dating and masonry.
I want to know why my brother Doja's so quiet over there. You know what I'm saying?
We ain't got time for y'all mess.
we want to hear about the other side.
I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna head on out. But Yeah.
Yeah.
Dating in masonry is
If
from
you're,
what you make it. Good, bad, or ugly. It depends on the individuals. Jump off the bridge.
So,
oh, it's
so
on me?
Yeah.
Did you meet your wife in the order, Doja?
I didn't meet her in the order, but she is in the order.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we want to go back to experiences, I'll
Hey, brother
probably say we
Doja, I'm
dated.
just curious, how did that affect your marriage? You know what I'm saying? Your wife being part of this order, does it affect your marriage? Affect in the past?
Nah, I wouldn't say so. But it's just another one of those talking points, like you said, it's another school of knowledge that we both was able to, dabble into or whatnot. So no, I wouldn't know strain, but
I think the thing about my wife not being part of this order, we got enough to talk about already. We don't need to add no extra shit on.
So you want your wife to join the order?
No, I met my wife in childhood. And our parents made that decision for us. We just took laid off of life to live up to it.
Speak up. No, I'm asking you. Would you want your wife to join the order? What's the question?
Yeah, actually, you know what? I would. You know what I'm saying? But it's nothing I press on my wife. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of her families and sisters, a lot of her uncles and brothers, and they kind of impressed on her like, hey, your husband and brother might be good for y'all marriage, but our marriage fine without. So maybe later it would be good because we had to establish a strong base with us first before interjecting that also. You know what I'm saying? Now, if we had met in the order, that might have been a different, thing. That might have been the basis of the strengthening of our relationship. But the situation varied for different people. But I will say it will be a test. It will be a test on any relationship, a man and that woman being involved in this thing of ours.
Agreed. Anyway, Sister LaQuisha, anything else to add before you dip out?
I don't have nothing to say.
It was thanks for coming on the
I
show.
knew hell froze over.
Well, it's gonna warm up when I leave, just for you.
Thank you for coming to chime in, give us that little sister commentary and interjection of knowledge. We thank you for that. And welcome back anytime on the show.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. All right, bros. Any parting word?
Peace and love, Sister Queen.
What's up, bros? Y'all done?
nah, man, I
we
think
got
the
to
show
get some better mics for the show.
Yeah, we're gonna have to work out this microphone situation. It's kind of choppy.
is really good and bad. But I think the consensus is we all somewhat at come to the same conclusion that is it good, bad, or I mean, is it good or bad? It's on the fence. It's shot on the fence, and it all depends on how good you can walk that tightrope. Are you scared of heights or what?
But I will say, if you can't have a successful Masonic relationship or a Masonic marriage, I mean, I would say it weighs in on the next generation being well more founded than the average child or household. Because I mean, like we said, other than social justice, like just basic parliamentary procedure, process of going about things in the right and wrong way. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it could be a plus. I would see more pluses than negatives.
Like a runner.
Really, right? Really right?
Corona.
Yeah, I see.
Calling in from a
Virus.
different state right now. I don't know where Fuller is. What's going on with the corona in y'all state?
I couldn't understand you.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started about this corona bullshit.
What's going on
Don't
with the
get me
corona in y'all
started.
state? You from Atlanta, right? You in Carolina. Fuller and La Land. What the fuck is going on? Corona in y'all fucking state. What the fuck is going on? You want me to write the question out?
I'm gonna tell you right now, man. This
Now,
whole COVID-19 thing, bruh, this is a test. This is a test of the emergency broadcasting system. We need to see how many of you motherfuckers we can get to conform with. We just gonna say it all in vain. You know what I'm saying? Half of the people they saying dying from corona disease is dying from common shit. Flu, pneumonia, hypertension, heart failure, respiratory distress, diabetes, heart abnormalities, just normal shit. But right now, like, Corona's the new go-to guy. Like, doc don't know what this is. He's too busy. Don't want to fill out the. It was Corona. Corona the new go-to guy right now for the medical profession. So, like, everybody started with this Wuhan, China thing. Italy, the hardest hit. Look at Europe, it's an epicenter. More people are infected with corona disease that have had no contact with foreign nationals and ain't been nowhere near China than people that have. You hearing all these averse theories about the 5G. They contaminated people with the testing swabs. Even with the people in prison. Right now, you got 2,000 inmates in Ohio right now positive, with 150 guards positive right now in Marion, Ohio. And they ain't had the minimum contact with outside people, foreign nationals through this epidemic. And they the highest hit population, more than half of the state's body count. Even with the body counts, I mean, not to even like rebel rouse, like they say, the numbers are disproportionately high for blacks. We the minority of the population, but we the majority of the deaths and the victims and the infectees of a foreign virus. You know what I'm saying? We the one with least foreign travel, least interaction with foreign nationals, least interaction with, so it begs to argue, how much of it is hype, how much it is engineered. Now they're saying, well, maybe it wasn't the meat market. Maybe it was a laboratory leak. Maybe it was this, maybe it was that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's been around, maybe it's new.
How you feel about Dr. Fauci?
I mean, what you want me to say? I mean, Fauci, a last generation Nazi that's employed by our government, man. You see a little Hitler when you see one.
Operation Paperclip.
You know what I'm saying? You feel me? So, like, what you want me to say? It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? He the last of the state-employed Nazis.
Operation Paperclip.
He's shooting his move. Like, let's take this spin off this corona shit, right? I've been discussing this shit with my wife, and she's a frontline responder. You know what I'm saying? She's an ADON for the county, so they have to oversee all the county buildings, the Virgil E. Brown, different facilities, day nurses, senior care. So she's been forced to go to work through this epidemic. You know what I'm saying? So stress on me, my children being home, being educated at home, the baby worry, is mama gonna go to work and get corona disease and come home and give it to us and kill us? And, listen, I was amazed to see everybody run out to buy soap and toilet paper when corona hit. What was you doing previous to this? What were your hygiene habits previous to this? The social distancing orders. This is a financial ploy. They tell me to stop touching the money. Tell me to stop. Tell me it's a ban on cash, currency, credit, and debit only, because this contagion is so viral that I need to stand 6 feet away from you, that I can't handle currency that's been touched by you and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people before you. And I have no idea of where it's come from or where it's going to have to be traced. Tell me that the highest hit number of victims by this are the postal workers that are handling mail from all over the world, but still forced to be on the job. Tell me that the majority of the deaths are with the grocery store clerks that are used to seeing 200-300 patrons through each line a day. Now they're half staffed because people are scared. Now they're seeing 2,000-3,000 patrons through the line a day. Right. What about your garbage workers? Picking up sanitation, door to door, every household. How hard are those demographics hit by this virus?
I still got to work. What about the social workers?
Exactly.
I seen 5 clients today.
So even with that, it's more of a hype. They've not stopped the machine from making money. They stopped all y'all fun and games. See, there's no bars, there's no restaurants, there's no sport and entertainment venues and social venues. But Walmart hasn't closed. The drugstore hasn't closed. The hardware store hasn't closed. The grocery store hasn't closed. Anything you need to eat, live, learn, essentially, has not closed. They stopped your fun and games and entertainment. This is financial ploy. Even with the social distance of the 6 feet, that's not distance enough to be sufficient to stop an airborne contagion from spreading from a person to a person in a room or a confined facility. Even with the standard of medicine as we know it, we create super germs by excessive cleaning, like staph disease. So now in all this rush to extra hand sanitize, extra disinfect this, that, and third, and keeping everyone distant, not to even get sick, gain antibodies to it or not, giving time for a second strain of it to emerge, plus other strains of more common germs to be strengthened through all the extra cleaning, because whatever survives will come back stronger. We setting ourselves up with failure. It's like we really think we could counterwork the clock on what's natural. If nature's sorting process is that, the climate, the air, the viral count ain't conducive to keep certain people.
Corona is not natural.
I might agree. I mean, we could agree that no disease actually is natural.
It's not a disease.
Or a virus. I mean, I mean, at the end of the day, age old saying, same thing make you smile, make you cry. Everything eats something for a reason, and everything eats something else. Long as we've existed on this planet as a species, only thing that's killing us in a massive rate suddenly now is due to a change in operation in the system, either with us or the system around us in which we exist. Period. So that's why I can't really so much buy into the corona thing, because I'm not seeing any more people die from corona than I'm seeing normally die from traditional sicknesses. Maybe more people may be dying right now from traditional sicknesses due to the corona hype and lack of care of that than actually corona. I've watched the news the last 2 weeks and watched at least 3 to 5 individuals in Cleveland, Ohio, personally murdered every 2-3 days for the last 2-3 weeks. Always down there in pairs of 2, south side, east side, west side, body found. There's floods going on in Louisiana, hundreds of thousands of houses underwater. People in Florida ain't got no drinking water, $25 million of sewage in the streets. It's at least 3 federal disaster zones going on in the country right now, separate of this viral outbreak right now. You see, so it's like it's another wave and trick move, So a lot more people are dying right now in the border dispute. So you watch what's going on with the presidential election. That's a whole underwash right now. There's not a tone being spoken about the candidate that fell out, the over the hill one that's still running, the devil that he running against, none of that. You see, all this is an underwash. And it's almost scary because for the first time, everybody's okay with it. They're okay with it. They will never give away money as they lose money without a back end plan. That's not part of capitalism.
I think that's something, and I think that's a good segue for me to make this statement because I think it's kind of hard for anybody to make a statement in regards to coronavirus and they be wrong. Yes, there's some false things that's being out said about the virus, COVID-19, whatever the case may be. But to allude to pretty much everything that Brother Fuller just said, no one, I have yet to hear anyone talk about the things that our government is putting in place while we're being distracted by this, whether it's death, not to take anything from anybody who's been affected, asymptomatic, loss of loved one. I'm not taking anything away from that. I'm not saying it's real. I'm not saying it's fake, laboratory, whatever the case may be. What laws are being put in place while we're being distracted from it? And
okay,
no one
we had that discussion. I'm glad you brought that up, Brother Aki, not to stop you mid-stroke. But have you recently been to the BMV in a state near you? You know, by October, everybody was mandated to have a new federally mandated driver's license or state identification card. You know, they had this big, you hear the big rundown, you know, without this new federally mandated state ID, you can no longer get on an airplane without a passport accompanying your identification or go to any federal building or county building to conduct any commerce, okay? They say you have the option of retaining your old identification or current driver's license. You just will not be permitted access to federal things like airports, aviation, federal buildings, okay?
But that's something that's taking place right now.
But listen, this is the slide, bro. Let me give you the slide on it, right? What everybody missed about this mandate going in several years ago and coming to completion this year, come October, you're supposed to have it done in Ohio. I'm speaking of Ohio personally. They were supposed to be compliant in the US by 2020. This is supposed to be globally compliant by 2030. The thing is, there's 99 mandates that you agree to by getting a federal identification card. So these are 99 federal laws that you are going to agree to and mandates that you are subject to punishment under that supersedes your state personal civil rights. One of which they are openly telling you is that your photograph, your likeness from this identification card will be entered into a federal database for face recognition in a federal global recognition system. So meaning once you have this identification card, any federal building or face on the planet will be able to use your facial recognition to identify you, and they will know you. And the documentation that's required to even just obtain a federal driver's license or state ID is extensive. It's proof of residency, mortgage, birth record, bank record. It's far more extensive than you would normally have to do to just secure a regular identification device or driving tool. So the other 98 legal, vices that you will now be subject to aren't even public, not even public. So you might want to keep this in mind and what's going on with this epidemic and shutdown and how much of this is being handed off to the federal government for their supervision. They're gauging how well children are doing with the homeschooling. They're gauging how much still went on with everybody working from home and how many of these buildings and facilities are really necessary and how much staff is truly necessary. Even after this is over, it's a measuring tool. So this is going to change the dynamic of life moving forward. Finance, education, employment, commerce is going to, our borders have become cyber now, so we all for years knew that they argued here's going to be a new world regime or order ushered in. And here it is today now, because in the next 2 years.
You just took the mic from our key and went on your own soliloquy.
Yeah, but I agree, Brother Aki. It's way more legal ramifications going on behind this COVID thing than a medical one, because it's too many things going on.
We know this shit.
Politically, I agree.
We wise enough to know that this ain't medical, ain't what it is. We not just know So our conversation need to be on a whole totally different level. I mean, because this basic shit, we already know bullshit is put out here. This is bullshit. We all know all that other shit, but what's the resistance? You know, like I mean, this ain't the platform to discuss that. Not out there for the 2 or 3 people that might be watching this. That 40 subscribers that the conversation should be what's the resistance. We watch all these movies and we get all these predictive program movies, but they also leave too. A lot of these movies and TV shows is about the so we contemplate much on the virus instead of the resistance. You know what I'm saying? What's the resistance? What's the call to action? You know what I'm saying? What we gonna be doing when we put this shit down? What we gonna do? When the National Guard hit the street, when the military, what we gonna do? If we just gonna bow down and go with the punches, why even talk about this? Let's talk about the Kardashians or something. About Jay-Z. Let's do a hip hop show.
I agree. But you know what? A funny statement made to me that the social distancing ain't affecting me too much because I'm already socially distant. Yeah. It's like you better get your mind right. You better decide what side of the fence you are. You're gonna be a sheep or you're gonna be a goat. So you either gonna accept that it's going in the direction and flow in the direction it's going, or you might as well crash the wall of water right now. No need to straddle the fence that ain't trickling no more.
Right, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. You gonna go get the bullets or you gonna go get the lube? You know what I'm saying? That's what you gonna do. I mean, what you gonna do?
Hey, some of these dudes got both.
You know what I'm
saying? And the bullet might be for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Some of these dudes got both.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So that's the big question, man. What we gonna do?
Some of them plan on just taking it till they can't take it no more, and then just some of these dudes got both.
You know, I read somewhere right that I mean this kind of fits with the subject of of masonry that I was reading it was FEMA's plan like when shit hit the fan that first of all militias, those Nazis you talking about,
oh yeah, they get empowered by law.
They get called up by the government to help police urban communities for one, and then all Masonic and elk lodges are supposed to be transformed into FEMA camps, or FEMA holding cells. So I don't know if some of these current lodges, PHA and mainstream, are getting some funding for the government because this was put in a funding package where a lot of these facilities are getting funding and been getting funding from the government for a long time to keep these pretty buildings and shit open, like the lodge downtown Detroit, these big pretty buildings. But they also are contact with FEMA. I was reading this in the FEMA paperwork. I was like, oh wow. And they said, and the elks. I said, wow.
They all chartered lodges. You know what I'm saying? They're all chartered lodges. You know what I'm saying? You have to understand.
Yeah, I gotta read up on it, man, because once the government put FEMA in charge,
they're already in charge.
It's a whole a whole different set of rules. It's a whole different set of rules.
Most everybody gonna agree with it with their new federal ID, but the funny thing is they supposed to be compliant by October, but the BMV been closed the last 2 months, the last month or so. So that's gonna make sure this limits travel for a lot of more people for a long time, the next couple months, year or two, while they sort through this.
The airfare when this shit is over with gonna eliminate a lot of people from traveling.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be astronomical.
It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy, man. If a motherfucker catch niggas be talking that, what's that shit, that blue shit? What's that airline? Blue? That little I rode to LA a couple times, but it's like the cheap shit. But everybody used to crack on that shit. That's what everybody gonna, they about to come up. If you got some stock, put it in that shit. What's that shit called, Aki? That airline. Some blue, the little cheap airline they got now. You can go to LA for like $250.
Yeah.
Yeah, JetBlue.
JetBlue.
Oh, JetBlue. Yeah, I'm going to put some money in there.
JetBlue.
All right,
Yeah.
bro. If y'all ain't got nothing else, man, I mean, I can shut the YouTube down. Stick around the chat. I'm just gonna shut the YouTube down though, so y'all can.
Okay. Last Wednesday with the brothers from Canada. I was slinging shots.
Hello.